most important things to discuss with your vendor as part of the contracting process is their meaningful use readiness. Make sure you find out its preparedness to meet meaningful use requirements. Ask to see its official certification and any guarantees that it has to meet initial and ongoing MU requirements. Any incentive money you get back from the government depends on your EHR vendor meeting all necessary guidelines. Make these conversations an important part of your pre-signing plans. It doesn't matter how difficult or challenging the conversation may be. What matters is that you have it. Do whatever you have to do. Buy lunch or set up teleconferences to cover vital information and deal breakers with your vendor rep. Technology requirements. The first item to discuss with your vendor is your technology needs. You want to make sure that everything you think is true about your practice's technological pluses and minuses is, in fact, true. Confirm hardware and software with your vendor rep to assure everyone's on the same page. Here are some initial questions to cover with your rep. What hardware do we need to replace or upgrade? And does the vendor offer any special hardware pricing as part of its contract? Do we need a different contract with an internet service provider or network? In addition to adding the EHR, will we need to change, add, or upgrade other software programs? What interfaces are recommended by the vendor, and what experience does it have with your other systems? Practice Management, LabCorp, Quest. Who pays for the interfaces, and who does the work on the interface development? What kind of software licenses do you offer? What happens if the EHR system experiences a failure? How does your disaster recovery system work? How often can we expect software upgrades, and will we have to pay for them? Do you currently or have plans to integrate with a personal health record, PHR, into the existing EHR? If so, what is your time frame and how will this affect our practice? Are there any functionalities or features of the software that are considered extras? Migration and implementation services. Now is also the time to ask any final questions and set expectations about how best to handle migration of data from paper records to the EHR system and confirm what implementation services will be included in your contract. Ask your rep, what kind of support will you offer while we preload data from paper records into the EHR? Do you offer data conversion services if we don't want to do the preloading? How long will preloading of key patient information take? Will you or our practice take the lead for the implementation? How much time will we need to devote to the implementation? Do you offer alternative implementation schedules so we don't disrupt patient flow? Can you run parallel systems during the go-live phase in case we experience glitches with the new EHR? What kind of implementation and training materials do you provide? Financial parameters. You already know what sorts of costs you will incur with EHR adoption and implementation. However, you're bound to run into a fair amount of fine print when it comes time to signing the contract. To avoid any big, earth-shaking surprises, make sure you understand the financial expectations of migrating to EHR. Discuss the following with your vendor rep prior to making your relationship official. How do software license fees work? Do we have to purchase multiple licenses or renew them at any time? Are the licenses sold per practice, physician, or user? How do you account for part-time employee usage?